Lionel Messi. Now there are new rumors that Messi could be going to the EPL. Apparently he wants 30 million to 35 million, depending on the outlet, to stay at PSG. His contract is up at the end of the year. PSG wants him to take less to be able to get under financial fair play regulations. There have been reports out of France that Messi is asked to only play in large matches because he knows, hey, at 36 years of age, my body may not hold up to play an entire season, including European competitions and things like that. So there's a lot of talk that now Messi's going to go to the EPL. There was a belief he spends one more year in France and then he would come to the MLS, kind of David Beckham, Wayne Rooney style. What do you think happens with Lionel Messi now with his career? He still has something that's in the tank, right? 13 goals, 13 assists. Do you think we'll finally see Messi go to the EPL, maybe with City and his boy Pep?
It'd be great, wouldn't it? In my opinion, it'd be fantastic if he did. I'm not sure he's going to be going to the MLS anytime soon, although he can't wait too long. His rumors were that he's a big family guy and they were all settled in, well, they were in Spain and sort of France now, and so he didn't really want to move far afield from them. If he's talking about going to the States, or if he's talking about going to the States, that's obviously a much further distance that he's got to uproot his family or just go without them for a season or whatever. So he's more likely to go to the Premier League than the MLS. For a selfish reason, personal preference, it'd be great to see him play in the Premier League. And I think, probably most of the public would love to see him play in the Premier League because it's supposed to be one of the toughest leagues in the world, now. And by tough, it's a lot more physical. So would he want to get kicked about in the Premier League or potentially get kicked around in the Premier League for the last couple of years of his career? I don't know. He could get looked after. It'd be fantastic. I could see him playing for Man City. I mean, just slot him in there with Haaland and the rest, and there wouldn't be a bad team, would they? And if because of his friendship there, like you say, that's where I could see him going. Who knows, really? It would be fantastic to see him have a season in the Premier League, season or two, because I would imagine I imagine he'd need to bed in, but I mean, Messi can play at any level, anywhere, can't he? And if they looked after him, he could certainly get a season under his belt. But yeah, it'd be fantastic. I think it's more likely there than moving all the way to the States at the moment.
Look, in sport, we want to see the best play the best, and Messi's the best, right? Maybe he's the greatest of all time. He's at least the greatest that I've seen, and he's never played against the best, right? He's never played the top league. The EPL's the top league, point blank. I mean, I know he just won the World Cup, so I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but that's what we want to see is him take on the best in the EPL. But I'll ask you this question, Chris: who's going to pay Messi what you could pay Kevin De Bruyne right now? The same, like he would be the highest paid player probably in the EPL. Who's going to make him the highest paid player in the EPL right now? There are teams that can do that, but are they willing to do it? And can Messi give you enough to make it worthwhile? I think you'll make enough money off of Messi to make it worthwhile, but I don't know from a competition standpoint, is he going to be, are you really going to give him 35 million pounds a year to be able to play, or 10 million pounds more per year than you're paying Kevin De Bruyne right now? Are you really going to give him that at 36 years of age when even he's saying, maybe I need some type of load management where I don't play in these matches and I do play in these matches? If it's not City, then who is it? That's going to be the one question that I have is, do you see United doing this? Because I don't know if I see United doing this. Although if they get taken over, then there's a lot of talk that there's a takeover bid coming this summer. And then if that happens, then maybe they do bring Messi in. Can you see Arsenal doing this? Because they are spending far less than the Chelseas, the Liverpools, and the Uniteds of the world. So do you see Arsenal doing this and adding him to the fold with Saka there? I just don't know that I see that happening as well. I know Spurs aren't going to spend to bring him in. So it's either City decides they want to spend to bring him in, or is there really anybody else that you look at? I can't help but
Newcastle.
wonder if Newcastle, that's true. Would he go to Newcastle? Is that a big enough club? It's a big club, but is it a big enough profile club for Messi and his family? That's one thing I wonder.
It's a big enough club financially now because they could afford him, but he'd need to get instant results, wouldn't he? He'd want to get instant success, and that'd be the drawback about going to Newcastle. I wonder if Man City whether it all hinges on if Man City win the Champions League this year. If they didn't, maybe they bring him in and use him sparingly to try and get him over that line. One last try for Pep. to win the Champions League. If they win it, then perhaps they don't need him. You know, they wouldn't push the boat out to get him. Or the Newcastle give him some promises, and he wants to be part of that legacy, because he wouldn't have to be a hero in Newcastle if he went there. My life, they'd worship him. So yeah, there's an outside chance in Newcastle, but other than that, City would be the favorite bet. Yeah.
I think it's going to go to the MLS. I think they're going to do the same thing they did for Beckham, and they're going to change the rules to be able to make sure that he goes. And I think he'll absolutely crush the MLS, because he's still playing. Again, if you're like, you know, France isn't the same as playing in England, but it's better than playing in the MLS. And if he's at 13 goals, 13 assists there, my gosh, what could he do in the MLS next year? So I think he goes to the MLS, and I think they do something similar to what they did for Beckham. Beckham, they allowed him to purchase an expansion club for $25 million. And they made that deal when it came to England. St. Louis just had to pay $200 million for a club. So I think that Messi would be willing to do something like that, and I think they'll work out some kind of deal